So today we're going to talk about the Tn'Krnl, which, if you want to think of them as a fantasy trope, think about Tinker Gnomes, because really that's kind of what they are. A lot of kind of not really, I guess not really steampunk, more gear punk, but there's some steam. So um, yeah, so the Tn'Krnl are from the race called Asbixti, and the Tn'Krnl speak a language called oh man, Tn'Krnl Asbixti, and it's a mouthful. And it's pretty complicated language because the Tn'Krnl are pretty complicated creatures, right? They the language Piston X as Bixty. When they write it down, this is just so funny because it just captures who these guys are. It's so great. When they write it down, they they don't they don't include vowels in the writing, so it's all like just the consonant sounds. But a lot of the words end up sounding similar. Maybe you know maybe there's a similar word for calcium, and there's a similar word for something else that could be potentially worse than using calcium. And so you end up with these instructions written down, that are like really, and they're super smart and super detail oriented, and they really think things through really well. Brilliant engineers is what I'm trying to get at here, okay? And then they write it down. And then somebody else reads the writing, and they're like putting everything together, but they think it says one thing, says something else, or he writes one thing, he reads a different thing and dumps it in there, and you get an explosion. So these contraptions that they build are not very reliable because of communication breakdowns. It's just how they are, and they don't even see it as a problem because they don't. I mean, they've never written down the vowel sounds, and it's never been never been a problem in the past, except all the times there's been explosions and things have just ground together, and just gears that are breaking and flying off and hitting people, but there's never really been a problem. Anyway, so you get the idea of who these guys are. Kind of a comical race, but also really cool. When their gadgets work, it's just phenomenal, and when they don't, it's equally phenomenal in the other direction. Just a comedy of errors kind of deal. And they're really they're pretty proud of their work, so they're showing it to everybody, and it just fails in the most beautifully terrible ways possible every time, almost. So they got this reputation with the other cultures of just being like comically beautiful, like brilliant but dangerous creatures, and that's kind of pretty accurate, I guess. Like one of the professions that the man, here I go into professions again. I really want to save this stuff for their own videos, but I'm going to tell you, at least give you some sense of what it is, and then I'll go into you kind of get more later. But there is a tinker class, and so yeah, one of the reasons that like their name is Tn'Krnl and they have a tinker class is they're allies with the Bruneldar, right? And the Bruneldar love their precious metals and like the hard metals and stuff like that, the valuable metals. But then they have a lot of like crappy tin and stuff, and other like cheaper metals that they really don't care anything about. So they tend to just discard it and give it to the Tn'Krnl, and the Tn'Krnl just love it, and that's what they use to make all these crazy gadgets and stuff. So now they've got somebody who just willingly supplies them with stuff that they consider trash, but the Tn'Krnl are like, oh, this is amazing. You guys don't even know what you've got here. And then they make something and it blows up in their face. And they're like, yes! Victory! With like smoke coming out of their hair and stuff. So, and then, you know, like sometimes they'll make something, you know, successful, and the Dar will be like, wow, that's really cool. Can you make one for me? And then they'll make one, and maybe the same guy made it and maybe it didn't. So maybe it works and maybe it don't. But and that only does more to enhance their reputation, whatever that reputation may be. Who knows how people might think about these guys. Anyway, so the Tinker, kind of think about it. You'll get a, I mean, obviously you'll get a better sense when I talk through the video, but imagine kind of a rogue class, but it's not a rogue focused on sneaking, more on like devices and stuff. So not a sneaky rogue, but maybe the way a rogue would fight, and maybe the way a rogue, you know, handles like devices and things of that nature. But then a pet class also, and if that's pretty exciting to you, you probably would be really interested in the Tn'Krnl, which are a really cool race. I mean, culture. They're not the only Azbigsti culture, but they're the only Azbigsti culture in northern Dosha. There's actually another that I don't want to get into here, but in southern Dosha, there's another culture of Azbigsti that are equally as impressive, but like in a different way. They just have access to different things. So not going to get into that here, but just kind of giving you ideas. So you can think about it over the, you know, years. Well, I haven't released the expansion that's going to have them yet, so well, I don't know what I'm telling you. But I hope you have an awesome day. If you like the videos, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Sign up to our forums and come join us and talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any comments, leave them in the video. I'd love to hear what you think. If you know, if you're enjoying the videos or whatever, just let me know. Have an awesome day. Thanks.